Time for some more iron review, and we're going to complete the Mizuno setup right here at Crown Hill. Join us next. Welcome back, not to the McGolf Shop. We're here at Crown Hill in Williamsport, Ohio. Williamsport, Ohio is just like every other rural community. It is in the middle of nothing. It's in the middle of a truckload of farmland. And this course has been taking the test of time, heat, all kinds of other things, and it's in really nice shape today. So we're going to go out, and they've graciously allowed me to go out and test some golf clubs. Now, last time you saw me do this, we did the Mizuno HM Pro. Really like the HM Pro. We even did a live stream with John, who was talking about the construction of the HM line, of which he was heavily involved in. Today, we are going to do the Hot Metal, the Hot Metal Normal. And so there are three different models. There's the Hot Metal High Launch, there's the Hot Metal, and then there's the Hot Metal Pro. Now, the thing here, the differences is the Hot Metal High Launch, very large sole, longer blade length, a lot more offset. The lofts are actually going to be weaker, i.e. high loft. The Hot Metal is going to be the next blade, and it's going to be slightly shorter with a slightly narrower sole. It's still going to be pretty wide and with a little bit less offset. So for those looking for forgiveness and get into the ground quite a bit, this is a great club for you. HM Pro, again, is going to be a smaller blade length and a smaller sole, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and very little offset. Now, the loft angles for the Pro and for the Hot Metal will be the same. Now, as we discussed in the live stream, the gap wedges will be individual to each one of the club sets as opposed to trying to share just one, which makes the set more uniform, it makes it easier to play, and it makes it better looking in the bag. Okay. Now today what do we have is I have the Hot Metal, and it's going to have the Neo 950 GH. Now I like this shaft, so I'm expecting some pretty good things out of it. I have the 5, the 7, and the pitching wedge, so we're going to put ourselves, instead of just playing around and getting to areas, we're going to put ourselves in areas where I think this is going to work. So let's go hit the... Alrighty, so we're at the 200-yard marker. I got the 5 iron. This is about a 190 to 200 club for me. We're going to see what it is today, and we're just going to plop her down and see what we can do. Now this is a 514-yard par 5. I actually hit my other balls way back there, and we're closer to the green, so it's more of a chip on, but we're testing the 5 iron, so let's test it. Now when you set this thing down, you can tell it does have some offset, and the top line is pretty thick, but that's the idea of this particular club. It's made to be forgiving, and it's made to get the ball in the air, and with the sole, it shouldn't get stuck. Now I'm in some, we'll call it, it's not hard pan, but it's very low cut. It's the fairway, and so we shouldn't be in too much trouble whatsoever here. A little bitty draw. And I'm literally on the edge of the green, so not a bad little shot. And it was a little thin, so I didn't get quite all of it, but all in all, it gave me my draw, it gave me everything we were looking for, and it covered up my bad shot. So let's go hit some more. You know, I did this last time I was here. I know. I did this last time I was here, and I'm still doing it. There's a lot of divots to fix. All right, hole number 11. It's a 143 par 3. Last time we were here, we hit the pitching wedge, and I did very, very well with it. So pressure is on. We got to figure out how this is going to work. So let's get this one on the green. All right, for the pitching wedge, of course, in the JPX line, the 925 Hot Metal, is that the clubs obviously will change shape. The 5 iron is a little bit longer It appears to be narrower, where the pitching wedge is a little bit more compact, a little bit taller, and that's all to fit all that weight into a space and give us the loft that we want. Again, I'm using the Neo 950s. Let's give this thing a ride. Well, I towed the hell out of that one. A little short. I'm going to give myself another shot here. Let's see what we get. That was just so towy, but it kept it in play. That's better. So I hit one way off the toe and it still kept it in play. You could feel the thing just torque in your hand, but it didn't go slicing off. It actually went straight. So they've engineered some forgiveness into this club. Let's go see where I finished up. All right, so the first one I hit that I towed and I thought was poor ends up being middle of the green on the right, and the one I hit well is middle of the green. So as bad as I thought I hit it, they both turned it out really well, which is just a testament to the forgiveness of this particular club. So let's just finish one out and let's go to the next hole. Go. Looks like a par to me. All right, we had to skip a few holes. Everybody has that nemesis hole. This is my nemesis hole. It is a total uphill dogleg right kind of shot, and normally I am off to the right because my aim is just plainly poor. Well, I hit a drive. It's up there. It's pretty decent, and but I want to try the 5-iron again because I'm looking for some height now. And so since this is uphill, we should be okay with that. So I'm standing about 180 now, 180, 170, 180, because it's uphill and you lose about 2 clubs. So we're going to try and see if we can't clear a tree and get on the green from here. Well, as you guys see when I do testing, I normally pull the ball, and that's exactly what I did. However, I did get the height that I was looking for, and we're going to go see about the distance. I should be right of the green. If this worked out, I got everything I was looking for out of this club, save the bonehead that's at the end of the grip, making it go to the right. Let's go and see where we went. Remember me pulling the 5-iron? Well, I did it, pulled it pretty decent. I am pin high, just off to the right, so it would be a chip on. Not too bad. So, just goes to prove how well you can miss when you're missing. Okay, we're on 14, another long par 5, and I'm standing about 275 out. Of course, I do not have a club that's going to go 275 off the deck, but it gives me an opportunity to see what happens when you stand on one. Now, I don't recommend this as something that you would do regularly, but let's give it a shot and see how it reacts. Now, when people do this, the muscles tend to tense up and we tend to hit some really bad shots. What the idea here is to create speed, not power. So let's just see how far we can get this thing out or nuke one. There we go. Actually got a hold of that one. So I hit one and I did exactly what I told you not to do. Everything tensed up and I yanked one into the trees. So I kind of calmed down and kept the speed on and went down there. So let's go see where it ended up. So from 275, I just shot it with a laser. I am 40 yards from there. That was one heck of a poke with a 5 iron. And not too bad. It's given me a little confidence to be able to swing a little bit more aggressive at some stuff. I know that's a bad thing, but hey, let's have a little fun with this. So anyway, you saw what happened. The first one I just tugged, and that was the bonehead at the end of the stick. But when you smooth it out and you pour on a little speed, it reacts and it gives it to you. That ellipsis face is doing exactly what they designed it for, and it's doing a pretty good job. Now we just need to get onto the green. All right, we're on hole number 17, and it is a 163 par 3, but it's downhill, so I need less club. The club we haven't really had a chance to use is the 7 iron, so we're going to choke down on the 7 iron and use a control shot, much like unlike on the last hole where we were trying to nuke one. We're going to try and finesse one. Let's see how this one works out. Well, if it stays on line, we're going to be good. Landed on the left-hand side, but the greens are rolling pretty fast, so we're going to see where we ended up at. Let's go find out. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. So with the Mizuno 7, basically, I like to be able to say, "Oh, I hit a cut fade." No, I just hit it with an open face just a little bit, but all the green wants to run this way, so anything up here would have come down here anyway. But I hit it. I got myself a divot I got to replace. So it finessed pretty good, right? It did a very good job of getting there. So in reality, all we got to do is finish this bad boy off. That's the furthest one I left today. And still for the 3. Man, I tell you what, this filming is making me golf good. Alrighty, so what we got? What do we have? What?
What's making you golf good?
Being on film.
With?
Oh, with my woman. Yes, with my woman. So. She just told me I was number 1 in her book twice over. All right, we're on the very last hole, and my drive was pathetic, and I got 2 1/4 out, but we know we're not going to reach it with the 5 iron, but hey, it's another good shot for it. Again, we're at Crown Hill Golf Course. Thank you to the folks at Crown Hill for allowing us to shoot on their course. Wilmington, Ohio. If you ever get a chance in Southern Ohio, it's nestled in the farmland community. There's lots of undulations, lots of challenges, lots of distance. I think you really enjoy it quite a bit. Also, thank you to Mizuno for sending me the clubs for testing, and hopefully we're doing them justice by telling you guys how to do this. Also, we're going to get ready to go back into the shop, and we're going to talk about specs and constructions and the last bit of performances. So we're going to hit this thing out, and then we're going to go back into the shop. Hey, we're back in the golf shop, and the irons actually hit pretty good, right? So let's do a little bit of technology talk that maybe I just didn't cover while I was on the course, because I was quite impressed, right? So what do we expect out of this? Number 1, the loft angles did not change dramatically from the 923s. We're talking a 1/2 degree change maximum, okay? So if you're looking for an increased distance as far as, oh, these are stronger, that's not going to be the case. These guys are very similar, if not exact. And we're talking a 1/2 degree in some cases only. Now, where does that change? Well, this has the cup face technology. And as we've talked about cup face in the past, cup face is where the face looks a little bit like this, and it comes on here, and it's this little rim that goes all the way around the face. It makes more of the face available to hit and making these mistakes. Now, you saw me talking with John, and we'll put him up in here in my live stream, And he is one of the designers at Mizuno, and he had a lot to do with this particular club in that this face was one of his particular favorites, in that it has an elliptic circle underneath of it, and it ellipses towards the top of the toe and the bottom of the heel. The idea here is he has made the face more forgiving where most golfers would miss. High toe, low heel. And there's a generous spot in the middle. And I can tell you that worked. As I tried to, as I tried to really nuke one, I held onto it and I put one into the corn. But then I threw it out there and it went pretty good. As you know, you put a good swing on anything, they normally do. But it went pretty far and the feedback was pretty impressive. Now what else have we changed? Well, the badging on the back has changed as well. And the badging has a bar that goes across it, and it's all helps with supporting the face plus a little bit of sound. All right. Now these are the sound coming off of these clubs is pronounced better. Is pronounced better? Is just better. It sounds better. It just sounds better. And it sounds more solid. It sounds more like a one-piece construction instead of several pieces of construction. And the look on this thing is significantly different. What they're talking to is they made a change in the engineering in that what you saw in the 23s were a very large golf club and then a very large golf club with very little offset, and then a high launch one which it's the same look but just a wider sole. These are different. All right, starting with the Hot Metal High Launch is the longest soled iron and the widest sole with this most extreme amount of offset. Now, this is quite a departure from Mizuno because they really don't like a lot of offset. In the High Launch is very much a very, very forgiving club. It is also a little weaker with IE High Launch to get the ball up in the air so that you can, gain a little distance, typically for the slower swinger. Now, the Hot Metal is a shorter blade length than the Hot Metal High Launch, and just by a little bit. But if you put them together, it's very, very noticeable. Now, what happens here? The sole has gotten narrower, and I believe it's even narrower than the 23. Not by a lot, but you can tell that it's there. They've removed the chrome piece on the back to try and give it that narrower look and just made it all the same look, as you can see right there, and they beveled it off a little bit more. Also, they took some offset off of this club. So if you just want some pure unadulterated distance, but you can control it, then this might be that club for you. Finally, the Pro model. The Pro model will have the same loft specs as the Hot Metal. So the Hot Metal Pro have the same loft specs. It's quite strong. That's the reason why they're so popular. And this is a much smaller blade length, and it's narrower in the sole, and it has even less offset, if you can imagine that. Now, and it's a very players-like club, okay? Now, you saw me in another video and we tested them, and they tested it out fantastic. They tested fantastic. All right, and I recommend them highly. So, those are the three differences that I wanted to cover because I don't have the High Launch. I wanted to make sure you guys are aware that there is a third one. Now, I'm talking with John. There's a fourth model coming out, and we probably won't see that till the beginning of the year. And most likely it will be the forged model because that's the next one in line. Now, I can say this. I've seen it. I've seen it, and it looks like a real doggone golf club. It looks really good. But that's about all I can tell you right now because of embargo stuff. Now, the things that are coming into this right now is the Hot Metal comes with a Neo 950, where the other one's going to come with a slightly heavier club, a 100-gram club. And that's the idea that the Pro model's for the stronger golfer, mid to low handicap, where the Hot Metal is from that mid to high handicap, maybe needs a little help with some swing speed, and the other one even higher still with maybe a little bit lighter or the same shaft but way more offset and a higher launch. So that's what I wanted to tell you about these golf clubs. Don't be afraid, go get fit and make sure your scores go low.